Hello everyone. We will perform an experiment to find out the radius of curvature of a plano-convex lens by using light. We are going to use the monochromatic light coming from the sodium vapor lamp. So when it is incident on a plano-convex lens, we will get the Newton's rings. So as I said, we are going to find out the radius of curvature of a plano-convex lens. The apparatus which we are using here are travelling microscope, sodium vapor lamp, the plano-convex lens and a plane glass, and magnifying lenses. This is the schematic diagram of the experimental setup. Here we have the light source from the sodium vapor lamp, which is allowed to incident on a plane glass plate inclined at an 45 degrees, and when light falls on this glass plate, the light falls on this arrangement. Here we have plano-convex lens and the plane glass. So this is the plano-convex lens, which is having one surface plane and another surface convex. So because of this arrangement, we have a narrow air gap over here, and light reflects from this arrangement, and we can able to view in the travelling microscope over here. So here we will get the Newton's rings patterns like this. Here we have a dark ring, bright ring, dark ring, bright ring. So these are called as Newton's rings. So let me enlarge this image like this. For example, I have the plano-convex lens. One side is plane like this, and the surface is convex like this, and a plane glass plate is kept below that. Fine. Now let us consider a ray of light which is falling on this. The interference happens because of this monochromatic light. Say this is a ray of light which is falling on this, and one ray will reflect from the bottom of this plano-convex lens, like this it goes, and another ray which hits to this plane lens, which hits to this plane glass plate, and again it reflects. So here the interference, the constructive interference happens between these two rays. There is a path difference between this ray. Let us say this is ray 1 and ray 2. There is a path difference between ray 1 and ray 2. So for the constructive interference, we know the path difference should be even multiple of lambda by 2. So this is the path difference for the constructive interference, and for the destructive interference, the path difference should be odd multiple, that is 2n plus or minus lambda divided by 2. Here we can take plus, or we can take minus to get the odd multiple of lambda divided by 2. So this is what happens here. Since the lights are normal, rays are normal to the surface, so that this will reflect normally back. Since the light rays are coming and hitting normally to this, so all the light rays which will reflect normally upwards, we can able to see the Newton's rings in the telescope. This is the plane glass plate, and this is the plano-convex lens. So both looks very similar, and we have to keep this plano-convex lens on this plane glass plate. So here the wedge shaped, a small narrow air gap produces. This is almost less than 1 mm. We cannot able to identify there is a air gap between that. There is a very narrow air gap is there, and this is the arrangement from which we can get the Newton's ring. So here we can find out the wedge shape, which side is plane and which side is convex. We cannot able to find out with, but just if I rotate this, it will rotate. If I rotate this, then it rotates. On the convex side it rotates, on the plane side it will not rotate. On the convex side, on the plane side it will not rotate, it stops. So by this simple method we can able to identify which side is convex and which side is plane. We will get the Newton's rings like this: center the dark ring, bright ring, dark ring, bright ring. Like that we will be having n number of rings. So in this experiment we should adjust the cross wires to the 12th ring. We have to count from the center, we have to count the rings. So this is first bright ring, second bright ring, third bright ring, like that. Let us say this is the 12th ring. So this bright ring is the 12th ring. So we have to keep the cross wire over here. Then take the readings. That is, we have to note down MSR and the VSR, vernier scale reading and main scale reading at this point. Then we should move on to the 10th ring and note down the readings. Move to the 8th ring. Like that we should take readings from left hand side to the right hand side. Continuously we should start from 12th ring to the 4th ring, 12th ring. So we should cover from the 12th ring of the LHS, then 10th ring, 8th ring, 6th ring, 4th ring. Then straight away we should move in that direction and we should start with the 4th ring, 6th ring, 8th ring, 12th ring. That means from 12th ring LHS to the right hand side, 12th ring, we should take all the readings. So in this experiment actually we are finding out the radius of curvature. Say this is the plano-convex lens. When I complete this, I will be having the circle like this. We are going to find out the radius of this curvature. That is R we are going to find out by using the formula R is equal to 1 divided by 4 lambda into bracket d square divided by n. We can easily derive this equation from the geometry. The applications of the Newton's ring experiments are, as we have found now, we can find out the radius of curvature of a convex lenses, and we can find out the thickness of the thin films. Nowadays we have thin films on the glass plates, on the spectacles. So we can find out the thin films, thickness of the thin films, and we can find out the oil spill amount in the ocean. By finding the thickness of the oil on the surface of the water, we can find out the amount of the oil spill in the ocean. So there are many sophisticated instruments to find out the thickness, such as ellipsometry, atomic force microscope, that is the AFM profilometry, and thin film matrix. This Newton's ring is one of the equipments from which we can find out the thickness of the thin films. Again, we can find out the wavelength of the source. Wavelength of the given source can be found by the Newton's ring experiment. So this is the traveling microscope which we are going to use to find out the diameter of the Newton's rings. So Newton's rings will be producing by the interference of this source. There is a source here. So from the source, light is falling on the focusing lens, glass plate that is inclined at 45 degrees of angle. Then light will fall down on the convex lens and the glass plate, Okay, these are the convex lines in the glass plate. I'll keep this one above that. This is a plain glass plate I'm keeping now. This is a plain glass plate which has been kept. Then this is the planar convex lens I'm keeping above that. So light is falling on this inclined glass plate, then it falls on this planar convex lens and the plain glass plate, and it reflects back. And while it is reflecting back, as there is a path difference, we will be having the interference patterns. These are the Newton's rings. We can clearly see the dark and bright rings. There are alternative dark and bright rings due to the interference of the monochromatic sodium vapor source. So we have the crosswire there at the center. I have adjusted now. So we should take that crosswire to the left hand side. We should count those rings right from 1. We should move to the left hand side 12th ring. 12th bright ring we should move, and then note down the main scale reading and vernier scale reading from the scales. This is the main scale and this is the vernier scale here. So here we have to find out the least count of the instrument first. The smallest division on the main scale is 1 mm. That divided by how many numbers of the divisions on the vernier scale. Here we have 10, 20, this is 80, 90 and 100. Number of divisions on the main vernier scale are 100. So that this is 1 mm divided by 100 is 0.01 mm is the least count of this instrument. Now we should move this by using this. We should move this crosswire to the 12th ring. As you can see, the crosswire is moving. So we should start counting it and then move to the 12th ring. At the 12th ring, we should take the main scale reading and then vernier scale reading. Carefully we should move to the 10th ring, then take reading, move to the 8th reading, again take main scale reading and vernier scale reading. Similarly, till 4th reading we should take. We can take all the readings, but these are closely spaced so that we are taking only the 12th, 10th, 8th, 6th and 4th reading. Then we should move in this direction and we should start counting the RHS part of the readings. So we should take the 4th reading, then 6th, then 8th, then 10th. Finally we should take the 12th ring reading. Least count of the travelling microscope is smallest division on main scale divided by total number of divisions on the vernier scale. That is 1 mm is the smallest division on the main scale divided by 100 is the number of divisions on the vernier scale. So it will become 0.01 mm, or in centimeter it is 0.001 centimeters. So this is the formula for total reading. Here we have the order of the ring, that is the which number of the ring, that is 12th ring we are started, that is on the LHS, the 12th ring, its main scale reading, its vernier scale reading we should write down, and we have to calculate the total reading. After that we should move to the 10th reading, take MSR, VSR, 8th reading, 6th and 4th. After 4th reading we should continue with the 4th reading of the RHS, because we will come across 4th reading, we will come across the 4th ring first. So 4th ring's reading we should take, then 6th, then 8th, 10th and then 12th. Its total reading we should calculate. D is the diameter. When I subtract the 12th ring's total reading from the 12th ring, total reading of the RHS, I will get the diameter of that ring. So D is the diameter of that particular ring, D square divided by N. N is the order of the ring. So order of the ring is 12 to 12 we have. So we will get the mean reading over here. By using the radius formula, that is 1 divided by 4 pi into bracket D square divided by N. This is the mean D square which we have calculated over here. We can calculate the radius of the plano-convex lens, and finally the result has to be written here.